Hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making fried potato tacos. These tacos are filled with potato and cheese and topped with queso fresco, crema, lettuce, pickled red onions, and a spicy serrano salsa. If you'd like to know how I make this, just keep watching. We're going to start with the filling for the tacos. I'm going to add 4 medium russet potatoes with the skin on to a pan and bring it to a boil. I already gave these a good scrub. We're going to cook these until they are fork tender. In another pan, I'm going to boil the tomatoes and serrano peppers for the salsa. I'm using 2 medium tomatoes and 5 serrano peppers. I want the salsa to be a medium spicy. If you want a more mild salsa, just add 1 or 2 serranos or even just a jalapeno pepper. Cook these until the serrano peppers have changed color and the tomato skin begins to burst. While those are cooking, let's talk about our toppings. This is optional, but I love pickled red onions on my tacos. They're really easy to make, but they do have to sit in the refrigerator for at least 3 hours, so I like to make them either that morning, preferably the night before. First, slice the red onion from root to stem and place them in your jar. I'm using a mason jar with a leak-proof plastic lid so I can store them in the refrigerator. I'm also adding 2 habanero peppers. These are optional, but I like these onions to be a little spicy. Once your onion is in the jar, fill it about 1/3 with hot water and the rest with vinegar. I'm using apple cider vinegar. It's a little bit more mellow than white vinegar, but you can use what you have. Add a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of Mexican oregano. I probably should have grabbed a larger jar. This onion was pretty big, but as the pickling process begins, they will start to soften. Give them a good shake and place them in the refrigerator until you're ready to use them. I also add finely shredded lettuce. I cut the lettuce in half and then slowly start cutting at the base. I'm going to add this to a bowl and wash it really well. I really like queso fresco on these tacos as well. This is a fresh cheese. It's not very salty and has a pretty mild flavor. You can use a fork to crumble it, but I wash my hands really well, so I'm just going to use my fingers. I'm going to put this aside and check on the potatoes. The potatoes look done. They're soft when I pierce them with a fork. I'm going to remove them from the water and add them to a bowl so they can cool down for me to peel them. The tomatoes and peppers for the salsa are also ready, so let's go ahead and make the salsa while the potatoes are cooling. Remove them from the pan and add them to the blender cup. For seasoning, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of Mexican oregano, 1 fresh garlic clove, and 1/3 of a cup of the liquid that I cooked them in. This is one of the easiest salsas you can make. Just blend it until it's smooth, pour it in your favorite salsa jar, and that's it. Super simple and really tasty. Once the potatoes are cool enough to handle, I'm going to peel them. I like to cook these in their skin so I don't add any additional moisture to the filling. I want this filling to be thick and somewhat dry so that it stays inside of the taco when we're frying them. I'm going to season these with a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper and mash them up. I recommend over seasoning these just a bit. Add a little bit more salt because once the tacos are fried, they will lose some of the seasoning. I'm also shredding some white cheddar cheese, about an 8-ounce block. You can use any kind of melting cheese you like or have on hand. Just shred it right over your bowl and mix it really well. We'll taste it once it's all mixed in and see if it needs any more salt. The amount of salt I added with this type of cheese is good. I'm going to warm up my corn tortillas to start filling up the tacos. I'm using white corn tortillas. I'm going to warm them up on a cast iron griddle so they're pliable. I don't recommend steaming these in the microwave because sometimes they stick together and might break when you're filling your tacos. Just warm them up slightly on both sides until you see a little bit of color on them. Let's start filling these up. Just grab your tortilla and add a spoonful in the middle and fold it in half. I like to add a small amount of filling, but you're welcome to add more. If the tortillas are still too hot, I use a paper towel to hold them. It works like a charm. The tacos are all filled. I got about 13 tacos. I'm using my 12.5-inch deep skillet. I'm going to add enough canola oil to coat the bottom. I don't want the tacos to be submerged in the oil. I just want enough oil to fry one side, then I'll flip them and fry the other side. The temperature of your pan will decrease as you're placing more tacos in, so you might have to adjust the heat a few times. Always keep an eye on them and move them around so you get a feel for how they're frying. Flip them over to fry the other side. They should be a light golden brown color. Take them out carefully and place them on paper towels to drain the excess oil. I like using a loaf pan and placing them upside down so they stay together. They will drain better this way. They're nice and crispy. The last few fried a little too fast, that's why you get those darker spots on them, but they're just as good, super crispy. These are some of my favorite tacos. Anything crispy, cheesy, and spicy satisfies most of my cravings. Place as many tacos as you want, add some lettuce, some queso fresco, salsa, and crema, add those spicy red onions, and enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe for more delicious recipes.